On Wednesday night, U.S. President Barack Obama addressed the nation and announced that the United States would expand its offensive against Islamic State militants into Syria and will not be restrained by political borders. Meanwhile, the foreign ministers of Germany and Britain say that their nations will not take part in airstrikes in Syria. However, the United Kingdom is considering some form of support for the United States offensive. Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko announced that he will begin the legislation process to grant semi-autonomous status to the pro-Russian eastern regions of Ukraine. Pro-Russian rebels have demanded an even more autonomous federalized system. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov warned that the Ukrainian military may be amassing forces in eastern Ukraine.
During a press conference in Bogotá, representatives of the UN, National University in Bogotá and Catholic Church announced the names of the second group of victims to take part in Colombia's ongoing peace talks in Havana. 8 women are included in the group of 12, a proportion that is intended to reflect the heavy price that women have paid throughout more than 50 years of internal conflict.
Women have suffered disproportionately in this conflict. Women, there's been acts of sexual violence, they've had their children recruited, many have been victims of anti-personnel mines, and women, while not taking up arms, or not many of them, have suffered disproportionately the consequences, and we've tried to make that visible in the delegations we've sent.
On Thursday, an 11-year-old boy died after being critically injured during Israel's Operation Protective Edge military offensive on Gaza. At the same time, another violation from the Israeli side was reported today in the besieged coastal enclave when 4 Israeli bulldozers entered a border area in southern Gaza near the Palestinian village of Al-Qarara and leveled private Palestinian land, witnesses said. Since the signing of a ceasefire agreement on August 26 that ended the 51 days Israeli assault, the Israeli Navy has fired at Gazan fishermen on at least 4 occasions under the claims that they had crossed fishing zone limits.
This week, the Venezuelan government announced significant reductions of violent crime rates across the country, with new figures demonstrating a 51% decrease in kidnapping and a 25% decline in cases of rape. In a continent infamous for its military dictatorships and for applying a heavy hand to the issue of crime, the socialist government of Venezuela has opted to try a different kind of model, which could be at the heart of these latest figures. Whilst the new measures have been accompanied by a popular move to disband the infamously corrupt and violent Metropolitan Police of the Capital District in 2010, they have earned criticism from the country's right-wing political opposition for being too soft on crime. Nonetheless, the government has vowed that it will not return to the country's previous model of heavy-handed policing.
Finally, in Brazil, a former director of Brazil's state-run oil company has accused more than 40 politicians of involvement in a kickback scheme over the past decade. Paulo Roberto Costa revealed a multi-billion-dollar scheme in which companies bidding for contracts with state-owned energy company Petrobras were required to pay bribes. President Dilma Rousseff says she will adopt measures as soon as all information is released about Costa's testimony to federal police.